A little over a year ago, I was delivering pizza with my situation completely different. I was getting overlooked, disrespected, and people referred to me as the pizza guy when I was making literally $200 a week. Yesterday, I made $4,000 just before noon. I'm currently 21 years old, and in the next 18 minutes, I'm going to break down the exact blueprint that took me from rock bottom to literally making $20,000 a month with online fitness coaching, including my spiritual breakthrough with God that literally changed everything and the exact business model I use today. I need to start with the truth about where I actually was. Because if you don't understand actually how desperate I got, you won't truly realize what's actually possible. November 3rd, 2023, a Friday night. I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life. It was a rainy night and I was delivering pizza. I just finished my shift. I made $70 in 5 hours, driving in the pouring rain, getting tipped $3 per house. I was soaked, sitting in my car, super depressed, miserable, hated the current life I was living, hated the direction that my life was going. I remember getting home and I literally just threw my stuff down, went to my room, and I don't know what it was in me, but I went on YouTube and decided to pull up this video about Jesus and his whole entire life. Something within me gave me the urge to just sit down and watch that whole video. And by the time I had gotten to the end of it, I was just bawling my eyes out. I got on my knees, and this was the first time in my life I actually truly prayed to God from the heart. And for the first time in my life, I had felt this overwhelming peace that was unbearable. It was this peace so heavy, it's nothing from this world. I'd never felt a peace that strong, and I truly surrendered to God. And I remember I no longer desired to live some of the old ways that I was currently living. 3 weeks later, I met Blake, and she was such an amazing woman. I could tell she was from God, but things got bad pretty quick because nothing changed. I was still delivering pizza. I was still making no money. I couldn't pay my own bills. My mom was working 3 jobs at one time just to cover my bills as a man because I couldn't pay for them. On top of now I have Blake, I could barely afford to take her out to a nice dinner once a month. I couldn't really, buy her things. I had to check my bank account every time I made a purchase. And this made me feel horrible as a man. And I knew my life needed to change. Like all my hard work I was putting in the gym, all my discipline, all my sacrifices I was making with my meals and my nutrition and packing food to actually bring to work while I was delivering, staying on track. All of my dreams, it felt like none of it had mattered because I was just the pizza guy. And you know what the worst part about all this was? At this point in my life, I had had over 10,000 followers on social media and I was still making $0 from it. People knew who I was. People recognized me. I had nothing to show for it. I was posting 5 times a day, nothing to show for it. The real breakthrough came when I saw this mentor online making the money that I desired. He was living my dream life. He was making money from his phone every single day, posting fitness videos, and I couldn't wrap my mind around how he was doing this. And something within me just made me reach out to him. I wanted to learn, bro, like, how are you doing this? Here's the issue. His program costed $5,000 and I had $200 to my name. And when he told me this on the sales call I had with him, this shattered me because I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford it unless I took an extreme risk. In that moment, out of full desperation, I decided to take out a 5K loan through a firm with money I didn't have and take the biggest risk I'd ever taken in my whole entire life. This is where everything changed. That desperation quickly became what actually drove me to success. When you're in a position to where you literally can't afford to fail, you stop making excuses and you just do it. And that pressure alone is what brought out the highest level of potential inside of me that was there the whole time. And one of the biggest things my mentor pointed out to me, and he was like, Jake, you have a following. I had about 60,000 followers on TikTok and I think 6,000 followers on Instagram. He was like, Jake, you have a decent audience, but no one knows who you are. All you do is post your physique, right? That was when I knew I had to start talking online. And that was the last thing I wanted to do because I was literally the most shy person ever. I always cared about what people thought about me. And I was the last person that wanted to talk on social media. The last person. I went a whole entire year avoiding it. I never wanted to do it. For 2 weeks straight, I completely changed my content. As you see here, I literally went from just posting stupid photo slides, just like the funny, like relatable stuff just to get views and attention, right? To now full on talking, completely being vulnerable, breaking down my story, sharing who I am. Now my page became a reflection of who I was. For 2 weeks, I did that and my content completely changed. My DMs completely changed. The way people saw me completely changed. Now people were starting to get an understanding of who I actually was. The first night I'd ever launched my online coaching business, I landed 2 clients for $650. I had never seen this amount of money ever come through my phone. $650 delivering pizza literally would have taken me about 8 5-hour shifts. I couldn't fathom that it actually worked. I literally jumped on a sales call praying that someone would take a chance on me, right? I had no intention of these people even saying yes. And 2 people, my first 2 calls, bought from me. 48 hours later, I made a $450 sale while delivering a pizza. This is when every limiting belief I'd ever had shattered. I had made $1,100 in 3 days, which was more than I was making in a month delivering pizza. I knew I was all in on this. I was going to be able to quit my job. This was going to be my way out. So what's the actual system that took me from making $650 to doing consistent 20K months? Here's the exact blueprint. Step 1, the story first content strategy. Likes and followers do not equal clients, and this is what you guys need to understand. There's a very big difference between, posting content just to get, attention and views and followers compared to actually posting content that is centered around you. It's impactful, it's giving value, and it's building you a whole entire audience of people who are actually going to be invested into who you are. The problem isn't the information. They can go find that information anywhere. The problem is they can't actually get themselves to do it. So when you stop giving generic information that hundreds of other coaches can talk about, and you get personal and you dive into your story, your audience is getting value based on how you actually perceive things through your story, your struggles, the way you operate. And now they're able to resonate with you. Now they're able to see you as a genuine human being because they're learning from where you used to be. If it was information they were buying into, they wouldn't need you. Everyone knows how to lose fat. Eat less, move more. But the problem is they can't hold themselves to do it. They're buying into you because the thing that's different about you compared to 10 other coaches, they resonate with you more. And they've built a stronger connection with you through your content and they trust you. That's the biggest thing. So they're buying into you. They're buying into building a relationship with you. You getting to walk them through step by step how to implement all this information. Hold them accountable, right? Get them excited to work out again and make progress. That's why this is so important. So instead of only posting gym content, use a combination of these 5 proven content formats. A confession, be vulnerable, talk about things that are on your mind that you're struggling with or things that you're going through, right? Relate to your audience, show them that you're a genuine human being and not just this guru coach who claims to have a perfect lifestyle because they can't resonate with you. You need to build the bridge for your audience. You can't sit there and talk down to them 24/7. No, you have to meet them where they are and bring them up to you. The only way you can do that is by going back to the same position that they're in because you were once there too. Also, your before and after, they need to know where you started and where you are now. That's your credibility. That's your personal growth in real time. Maybe an unpopular truth. I'm very open about my faith and certain things that I've been through, right? It's not the most common things to talk about, but it makes me different. It makes me unique and it's personal to me. Obviously, receipts and proof. You need proof. Your business doesn't grow if you're not getting other people results, right? It's one of the most important things. And then 4, the lesson. You need to tie in lessons within your content. You need to turn your story and what you've been through into a lesson for your audience. It's crucial. Step 2, the premium positioning model. Most coaches try to be affordable for everyone, and that's the problem because if you're just that cheap coach who's trying to be affordable for everyone, 1, you're never going to really even be able to make a profit, but 2, people don't see the value in you as a coach. That's the problem. I did the opposite. My offer for fitness coaching was $3,000 for 6 months of fitness coaching. But people bought into that because they trusted me. They trusted me and they knew I cared. They knew that they were going to get the one-on-one attention with working with me, the one-on-one time. They were going to build a relationship with me, and they knew I was going to do everything in my power to push them over the edge to reach their highest potential. That's the difference. When people are looking into buying a coach, it's the same thing with taking your girl out to eat. Are you going to take your girl to McDonald's or are you going to take her to a high-end steakhouse? Obviously the steakhouse. Why? Because the quality. It's the same thing with coaching. If you're that coach who's just trying to price your coaching the absolute lowest out of everyone in the market, everyone just sees you as like the least valuable coach. They know your program probably isn't that good. You get what you pay for. I charge very high ticket coaching because I put everything I have into my clients and into my programs. So as far as your offer, you need to identify who are you helping, what type of result are you promising to get them, what amount of time are you, kind of guaranteeing that they'll be able to get that in, and what kind of method do you have? Your unconventional method, the way you're able to find that is going to be through the way you made your transformation. The exact steps that you took to transform your life, that's your method. That's your story. That's what you did to get to where you are. And here's what my clients actually got. Weekly one-on-one calls, normally at least an hour long, and work through their issues, work through their struggles and their problems. 24/7 access to my personal phone number. They could text me at any time of the day that they wanted, as many times as they wanted. I told them, listen, the more you reach out to me, the more I know you care and the more I know you want to actually get real results. All of our calls were recorded so they could go back and actually re-watch everything and get all of that value. I had a group chat because they're all in the same position. So now they could make connections. They could talk to each other. They could grow off of each other and build faster. That was huge, just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Also, complete course and system access, all these modules that they can go through and watch and get all this great information, their own one-on-one dashboard, they have their weekly tasks to get done, and even like little calls throughout the week. If anyone needed additional help, like, if they would text me, yo, Jake, can you jump on like a quick 5-10 minute phone call? No problem. Absolutely. I'm 100% willing to do that because the more I can help you, the better results you're going to get. Step 3, creating a brotherhood. This is truly how you're going to be able to set yourself apart from every other coach. Listen, you can't just sell information. You need to sell actual relationships. The thing that sticks out with my mentorship and why people actually buy from me is because every single client that comes through, I build a genuine, real relationship with. I take care of them. They get to know me. They don't look at me like this big, scary mentor who's, a burden to reach out to. They look at me like a brother because I look at them the same way. I literally had a client call me at like midnight, the night before his sales call the next day. He was super nervous. It was his first high ticket offer and he was struggling. He was like, yo, Jake, can we jump on a quick call? I jumped on like literally a 30-minute phone call with him, walked him through the whole process, gave him confidence as a coach, gave him clarity in his offer. The next morning, he sold a $2,000 package and then also crossed 5K that month. And it's the little things like that. Like if I didn't take that call with him, he may not have had the confidence to sell an offer like that. That means everything to me. Step 4, the results first acquisition. I stopped trying to chase followers or trying to go viral. Instead, I created content that actually attracts people who want to invest into not only me and build a relationship with me, but they're serious about investing into their future. They're serious about putting in the work to change their life. Posting this type of content is going to pre-qualify your leads before you even speak with them. By the time guys get onto a sales call with me, they literally feel like they already know me before they've ever even spoken a word to me before. That's not only from consuming so much of my content, because my page is literally a reflection of who I am. They watch my content and they know everything about me. They already feel like they know who I am. But then just speaking to me in the DMs when I'm taking time to send like 2-minute voice memos back and forth with them. And then we get on the call. And the thing that everyone tells me on these sales calls is that they tell me I am the same exact dude that they see in my content. That's genuineness. I'm telling you, with this business, you need to treat people the absolute best. It's about building connection and relationships. It's not sales. You're showing that person that you genuinely care about them and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get them the results they're looking for. The call is never about, convincing them at the same time. I genuinely want people who want to work with me specifically, right? If they're not a good fit, I don't have an issue letting someone go, right? Even if they have the money. That's one of the biggest things to me. I'm very selective with my guys because I understand that it takes a certain level of individual. There's a certain standard and expectation for my clients. I want the absolute best guys who are willing to stick with the process and put in tons and tons of work. I want guys who are hungry and they're obsessed and they want to change their life by making an impact. Those are the best types of guys, and those are the guys that I build the best relationships with. And I have a whole community of that, right? So if I see one bad guy who I think is gonna go in and not be a good fit to everyone, it's not worth it, especially if I don't resonate with them. All of my guys in Relentless, We all resonate with each other. We all share the same values, the same beliefs. It's a strong brotherhood. And I'm not willing to let someone into that community who I think is going to be bad, for relentless, and just bring everyone else down. It's not worth it. And as you can see right here, my guy Denzel just turned 20 years old. He started with me July 5th. He had 800 followers. Now he's over 7,000 followers, almost up to 8,000 followers. He bought his first car. This was his first big purchase. Before he came to me, he was literally like super depressed, so much anxiety. He literally wanted to quit fitness coaching, but he took one last chance, one last risk. Now he crossed a $5,000 a month in August, and this month is going to at least do $10,000. My other guy, Ty, right here, literally started with me with 600 followers. He was a personal trainer in the gym, also working at In-N-Out Burger. As you can see here in February, he made $2,400. March, he made over 3,000. And then right here is a DM. He made 3.1K in one day. And then he went and quit his In-N-Out job, and now he's able to do coaching full time. Absolutely insane. But what I'm most proud of about these guys is they're not just making money, they're literally changing lives and making an impact and doing what they love. Their clients are getting incredible transformations because when someone invests into them, their clients are already committed to the process. As you can see, this blueprint actually works. 23,000 followers on Instagram and over 75,000 followers on TikTok. But here's the difference. These aren't just random people. These are people who are actually invested into who I am, actually following me because of who I am and what I do. That's real impact. But what happened, and this is where it gets bad. 3 months ago, I completely lost myself again. I found myself sitting in my dream car, all the money I could ever have imagined possible, never had to stress about bills or making purchases again. Yet I was the most miserable and empty I'd ever been in my whole entire life. Here's the thing, there's a way to build wealth and freedom while staying true to your actual values, while staying true to the man that God has called you to be. You don't have to sacrifice your soul just to succeed. And this is the exact system that I help my mentorship clients implement now. I'm able to help them navigate with the foundational principles of God. I'm able to use my story and what God has taught me as a lesson to them. Now, here's the thing. There's only a limited amount of people that I can work with at once. Like I said, I keep my mentorship very one-on-one focused. I build genuine relationships with my guys. I take care of them to the best of my ability. And because of this, there's a reason I only take on the best guys, because I know space is very limited. I'm willing to make less money now for more impact down the road, because what I truly learned through all of this is no amount of money I could ever make is ever going to feel better than the fulfillment I get from making an impact in someone else's life and changing their life for the better. So if you're serious about making this transformation, if you're tired of being broke, you're tired of watching other people live the life that you want to live, tired of delivering pizza while dreaming of something better, and you want me to personally implement this system for you, there's a link in the description. But before you click it, ask yourself, am I really ready to invest in my future? Am I willing to do whatever it takes to make this work? Am I coachable enough to follow a proven system? If the answer is yes, book a call. But if you're just looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, I promise this is not for you. I'm usually only able to take on a few new clients per month. So if you're watching this when it first comes out, those spots still might be available. But if you're watching this weeks later, it might not be. Don't be the person who watches this video, gets inspired, and then does absolutely nothing. Your life is never going to change until you make a decision to take action and do something about it. So click the link, book the call. Let's see if you're ready to write your own transformation story. And if you got value from this video, subscribe, because I'm going to keep showing you exactly how to build a business that gives you both wealth and freedom while staying true to your values.